Hello guys, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to week 5. So for week 5, it is all about Microsoft Word as well. And for this week's tutorial, I'll be teaching you guys on how to basically use Microsoft Word. And after I share with you this one video, I'll be teaching you guys on how to complete assignments, right? Your first individual assignment on Microsoft Word. So last week, if you guys remember, we covered what Microsoft Word is all about. And I hope that by this time, you know already how to operate and how to work Microsoft Word. So for this week's tutorial, I'll start the class with a video, and this video is basically on Microsoft Word tutorial. So there will be a tutorial, alright, teaching you guys on how to better utilize or how to better operate Microsoft Word. Are you guys ready? I hope you guys are. And without wasting any more time, let us play the video in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here I am on my desktop, and what we're going to do first is I'm going to show you how you can even get Microsoft Word. The first way you can do it is most PCs these days come with Word installed, so you can just search for Word and you'll see the app on your computer. If you don't have it though and you want to pick it up, you can go to the website office.com and then click on Get Office. And when you do that, you'll be able to buy Office for your computer. This allows you to use it offline. You have a few different options. These two are subscription offerings. One of them allows you to use it with up to 6 people. The other one allows you to use it with 1 person, or you can just pay one time and you get Word. If you're not interested in paying for Word, you could also get it for free online. Simply click on Sign In, type in your username. If you don't have one, you could create one. And then once you log in, you'll also be able to use Word online entirely for free. And it's also a pretty good offering. Word on the web and then also Word on the desktop. They're both pretty good. So once you have Word, what you can do is today for this tutorial, I'm going to use the desktop software. So I'm going to go ahead and open Word. And when you first open Word, you'll land on the home screen. So you see on the left-hand side, this one's referred to as home. From home, you could create a new blank document. You also have templates that you could start from, and you also have recent documents down below. With the template section up here, if you want to see more templates, you simply click on more templates and you could create from all types of pre-existing content. They also have different categories, or you could search for templates. So you could start just from something existing versus trying to start it from scratch. Here I'm going to go back. With your recent documents, you could search for a recent document. So here, if I want to look for my travel list, I could type it in and here it shows up. And there's also an option for more documents where I can click on open. They go to the same place. And when I click there, I could look across my whole file system. I could see files that have been shared with me, or I could look in my OneDrive to see if I could find the file that I'm looking for. Today for the tutorial, what I'm going to do is we're just going to start with a blank document. So let's jump into a blank document. And what I want to do first is I want to save this document, and I'm going to save it to OneDrive. By saving it to OneDrive, I'm able to access this document from anywhere. So I'll just go to Save As, and I'm going to put it in my personal OneDrive account, and we'll call this Word tutorial. And I'm going to put this in my videos folder under tutorials. Okay, so I've saved my document. It's now available in the cloud, so I can now go on any other device and I could access the same document. So it's available anywhere. I could get it on my phone, I could get it in a web browser, or I could open it from Word elsewhere. So I can get it from anywhere. So I'd recommend doing that as the first step. By putting it in OneDrive, not only is it available anywhere, but then you could also collaborate with others. You could share the document with others. Some other nice stuff that you get is you could look at the version history. So as you make changes, it'll save each step along the way as you're working on the document. So let's say you make a whole bunch of changes, but maybe you didn't really like the changes that much. You could go back in time to a previous version. So that's some of the benefits of saving to OneDrive. So here I am on the home pivot. This is the default one that you land on. And so what we could do is I'm in a document now. So I could just start typing. Hello, my name is Kevin Stratford. How is everyone doing today? So I'm just typing in some just general text. What I can also do is along with typing text, I could also dictate. So I have this dictate option here, and let's click on that. Hi, my name is Kevin Stratford. How are you doing today? Question mark. Okay, so of course my name's a little more difficult to spell, so the dictation didn't get that quite right, but that's easy to update, and it did pretty well. So whether I feel like typing, whether I feel like dictating, Word can work with me to get my thoughts and text into Word. Now that I've entered some text into Word, what I can also do is I could format my text. So what I could do is, let's say hello, or let's say my name here. What I want to do is I could apply bolding, I could italicize, I could underline. I can also change the font. So maybe I don't like Calibri. Instead, maybe I want to go with Segoe. So let me go with one of these Segoe semi-bold. And then I could also adjust the font color. I have lots of different colors. I could also click on more colors, and I could basically get an infinite number of colors to choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and select that color. Now what's nice is, let's say I spend a whole bunch of time working on this coloring of my name and I want to apply it to this other Kevin. Well, I don't want to have to go through, select the font, bold, italicize, and do all that again. That's what can really help me here is the Format Painter. If you've ever wondered about what this does, is you simply click on the text that you want to copy the format of, then you click on Format Painter, and then you simply highlight the piece where you want to copy that format over to. So I'll do that, and there you see the formatting is exactly the same. So very easy way to copy formatting. What I could also do is, let's say I make a whole bunch of changes here. Maybe I change the color here. What I can do is I could also just clear the format. So here I highlight it, and I'll click on this clear formatting option, and that gets rid of all of the formatting on my text. What I can also do is, if I highlight text, you'll see this kind of quick formatting tool appear. So especially if, let's say I'm going to type in a few city names. Let's say I type in a lot of text and I'm kind of lower down on the document. I could go up here to get to the formatting, or I could simply highlight the text, and there I have quick access to the formatting. So kind of a very quick way to apply your formatting without always needing to go up. What I can also do is, here I've entered a list of a few cities. Let's put in a few other city names in here. So I have 4 cities. What I could do is I could put this into a bulleted list. I could do a numbered list. So many different options here in terms of bulleting. And another thing I could do as well is, with this list, it's not currently in alphabetical order, so I could click on the sort option, and maybe I want to do it in alphabetical order, so I'll click paragraphs. But you could also sort things based on numbers or dates. But I'm going to go ahead in alphabetical order, and so there, it's adjusted it now, so it's in alphabetical order. So some of the nice controls I have here. What I want to talk about next is this section over here called styles, and I'll tell you what that's good for. So let's say that I have different headers, so maybe vacation, destinations, favorite, vacations, and then maybe we have dream vacation. So I have different categories, and then maybe I have some text under these headers. So what I can do is, with styles, I could say, hey, this is a header, so let me apply a style there, and I'll say this is a header, I'll apply a style, and then let me highlight this, and this is a style. So let's say that, oh, actually, I don't want this header to be blue, I'd rather have it be red. Now, if you don't use styles, what I'd have to do is I'd have to go through each individual one and then change it to red. But I don't want to do that, I'd rather do it all at once. And so what I can do is, if I click into styles here, I'm going to right click on the style, and I'm going to go to modify. And when I'm in this modify screen, I can now define what I want this style to look like. So now I'm going to say, hey, let's go with a red color for the header. And so I'll click apply, and now it applied it to all of the different items that use that style. And so this is really powerful, especially when you get a very long document. You could simply apply a style, and it'll update every single point where you use that style. And so they have styles for just about everything. You can do it for headers, you could do it for just your text paragraphs, you could do it for titles and anything. And that way it's very easy to update without needing to go through header by header by header, or paragraph by paragraph by paragraph, and update it. So styles are very powerful. Another thing that I love on this home screen is the ability to find and then also replace. And so I'll click on Advanced Find and then click on Replace. So let's say that I made a bunch of references to New York, and actually what I meant to do is I wanted to make reference to another city, so let's say Detroit. What I could do is I could simply click on Replace All, and then it'll go through my whole document and replace all instances where I say New York with Detroit. So it makes it really easy to kind of quickly make updates throughout your document. And so those are the key things on the Home tab. Let's jump into the Insert tab next. On the Insert tab, some of what you could do is we're going to start over here. You could insert a cover page, and the nice thing is Word has a whole bunch of pre-formatted cover pages that you can insert. You could go through and pick whichever one you think looks nice. There's also this concept of page break, and what you could do there is, let's say I'm typing and then I want to jump to the next page. I could simply hit enter all the way down until I make it to the next page, but an easier way to do that is to simply click on page break. You'll see this line is inserted, and this just starts me on the next page now, so I don't have to keep entering down until I reach the next page. I could also insert things like tables, pictures. I could also drop shapes into my Word document. There's something called Smart Art, which is kind of neat, and you have all these different things, like if you want to insert a list or a process or a cycle, here I'll go and insert a list, and what you could do is it inserts the shapes, and you just go in and modify the text to your heart's content. So very easy, and you could go ahead and change the colors on it. You could change the style or the bevel or the 3D look to it, but there's a lot you could do to it. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to insert a picture in here, and I'm just going to go ahead on my machine and find a photo of myself, and so here's a picture of me on a boat. And what you'll notice is anytime you insert an item, it'll bring in another pivot which has formatting for that item. And so here then you could go in and you could correct the photo, or you could apply different colors or artistic effects. And so you could go through, you could rotate, you could crop the photo. So there are lots of different controls for being able to modify that photo that shows up when you highlight the item. So there you see the, the picture format disappears. If I select the photo again, the picture format reappears. Some of the other things that I could insert a chart. The nice thing there is it has all the same charts that you get in Microsoft Excel. So here I can insert a column chart. And what's nice about this is it'll insert the chart, and then it brings up a little dialog similar to Excel where I can then modify the values directly in line, and that'll update my chart in Microsoft Word. So some nice functionality there. What I can also do, some other things that are worthwhile knowing about, you could insert headers, you could insert footers, and I could also insert a page number on every single page within my document. That's something that you have to do in school very often, where you need to put down the number of pages. So I'm just going to go with plain number 1. And so here you see now I have a page number, and that'll be on every single page. So I go down to my second page, and you see page 2. Okay, well, now that we've looked at the Insert tab, there's lots of different types of content that you can insert. The next thing that I want to show you is the Design tab. So I'm going to click on Design. And when you click on Design, the first thing you'll notice is you have this thing that's referred to as Themes. Now, we previously looked at styles, and you could insert headers, you could insert different paragraphs. What you could do with Themes is it takes all of your inserted content, so I'm going to go back down to my headers, and I could apply a different theme. And so as I click on the theme, what it'll do is it'll take all my styles that I've inserted, and it'll update them based on that theme. So there you can see very quickly. So instead of you going through and trying to figure out, well, hey, let me insert a header, let me figure out what looks the best, instead you could use these built-in themes. And there are all sorts of themes that you could choose from. You have many different options. You could also adjust the coloring, you could adjust the fonts, you could adjust the paragraph spacing. There's all sorts of functionality on modifying the look and feel with themes. But the nice thing about themes is once you apply your different styles, selecting a theme applies that theme to your entire document. So it makes updating the look and feel of your document very easy. The other thing I want to touch on the design pivot is watermark. So what you can do with watermark is, let's say that you're working on a draft, or maybe we're working on a confidential document here. I could click on confidential, and what that'll do now is every single page in my document will contain that watermark in the background. So kind of a nice way, especially if you want to say it's confidential or draft, you can insert text behind. There are a few other things. You could adjust the background color, the page borders, so some other functionality under the design. The next thing we're going to look at is layout. Within the layout pivot, some of the things you could do is you could adjust margins. So let's say you're working on a paper and you have to keep it to one page. You could adjust the margins, make them a little more narrow so you could fit a little bit more content on your document. You can also adjust the orientation so it's landscape instead of portrait. And that's the key functionality here that I wanted to show on layouts. The next thing we're going to look at is references, and this is something that's very helpful if you're putting together, let's say, a big document with lots of content. The first thing we're going to look at is the table of contents, and so I'm just going to go ahead and insert the automatic table of contents. What this does is, once again, here this looks at the different headers that I applied to my document, and that's how it forms the table of contents. So here you'll see I put in 3 headers in my document earlier, and it forms the table of contents from that. So here I have my vacation destinations, favorite vacations, and dream vacations. What I can also do is if you're working on a paper, you might need to add footnotes for different content. So here, hello, my name is Kevin Stratford. Maybe I need to back up that that is in fact my name, and maybe I show my birth certificate. So what I could do is I'll click on Insert Footnote, and then I could say, Kevin was born on 8/11, and maybe I provide additional detail. But what you'll see happened is here it inserted the footnote here, and the footnote appears at the bottom of the first page. So that's how you insert footnotes. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the review pivots. If you're interested in the mailings one, this alone is a pretty big topic. I have other videos on mail merge. You can take a look at those if you're interested in learning about this functionality. Just a quick description of what you could do with mailings is, let's say that you want to send out an email or a letter and you want to customize information within that. That's called mail merge, and like I said, I have videos on that if you're interested in learning more about that, but that's beyond a basic tutorial of Microsoft Word. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the Review tab, and once you've typed your document, this is where you check to make sure what you typed actually makes sense. So, hi, my name are Kevin, how you is doing today? And then maybe I'll misspell today. And so some of the things you'll see is as you're typing, you get these different squiggly lines. That means it's spelled incorrectly. And so here, if I right-click on it, I can see what the suggestions are. So I'll change that to today. How is you be doing today? So the grammar is pretty bad there. And so I can click on Check Document. And so here you'll see the grammar check that pops up. And here it says, my name are Kevin. And here it suggests is. And then how you, and then here it suggests are, how are you doing today? And so what it'll do is as you're typing, it'll underline things if it's spelled incorrectly, but you could also go ahead and click here. One of the things you can also do is instead of saying doing, I could click on the thesaurus and you can see other variations that you could insert instead. And especially if you're in school and you're constrained to a certain word count, there's a word count capability here where you can see how many words are in your document. Or if, let's say, you're a journalist and you're paid by the word, maybe, I don't know, you could use that as well to see how much money you're going to get. So now that we've looked at how to review a Word document, the next thing I want to talk about is how you can collaborate on a document. Now, it's no fun just working on a document by yourself, and today more and more in school and in workplace, you're expected to work with others on a document. So how do you do that? Well, what we could do is, first off, there's a share button in the top right hand corner. If we click on share, that'll bring up a share dialog. And earlier I saved this document on OneDrive, so it's already a cloud file. You could type in names here, or you could simply copy a link. So I'll just go ahead and copy a link, and you could send this link to anyone, and they'll then have access to this document. What's nice too is once you share your document, you could work in real time with other people. So as you're typing in the document, they can also type in the document. What you can also do is once you share your document, you can leave comments for each other. So here I could click on new comment, and I could type in a little message that says, please review this paragraph. And then I could go ahead and I could leave that comment in the document, and when my coworkers or my classmates go in, they'll see those. And what I could also do is if I'm worried about making a bunch of changes and other people not knowing what I've changed, I could track the changes that I'm making to the document. And then if I click on all markup, it'll show the changes that I've made. So I'm going to turn that off for now. One of the other things, I've showed a whole bunch of functionality within Word. What you can also do is sometimes it's a little difficult to remember what pivot was it in, how can I get back to that. Let's say I'm on home and I want to know word count. Well, I can click on this search box at the top, and then I'll type in word count, and there it shows me the action right there. So I'll click on that, and that'll do a word count. So if you don't remember where things are, but you know what you want to do, simply search for it. It's an easier way to navigate the interface. Now, a few other advanced things that I wanted to highlight. That's all kind of the core basic functionality of Word. If you're able to follow along with all of that, you're pretty proficient in Word already, but I want to show you a few advanced things that will really wow people if you know how to do it. Some of the things you could do is clicking on the File menu, there's an option called Transform. With Transform, what you could do is you could transform your Word document into a web page, an interactive web page. It actually does a really nice job of doing that. It's responsive, so if you're on a mobile device or on a desktop, it looks really nice. But that's a really nice advanced capability. Another thing you could do is if you have text here, what I'm going to click on is we're going to go to the review pivot, and then I'm going to click on translate. And so I could translate this selection. This is bringing up a translator, and here I have it translate to German. Hallo, mein Name ist Kevin. Wie geht es heute? So it's a little, translation's not perfect, but you get the idea. It does I guess, a decent job of getting a translation in. If you're working on a resume, there's something called Resume Assistant. If I click on that, it brings up the Resume Assistant. Let's go ahead and get started. And I could type in my role or the job that I have. So I'm a Senior Program Manager. And then I could click on that, and industry is technology. And then I could see examples from other resumes. So that's kind of a nice feature within Word. Some of the other things that I could do is when I'm in a document, let's say I have a long document and I want to refer to different spots within the document, I could click on View. There's something called Split Screen, and then I could, let's say, scroll down in one window to my picture maybe, and then I could scroll up to my table of contents. So you could look at two areas of your document at the same time. And then the last thing is if I click on File and go to Info, what's nice is because I saved this on OneDrive, there's something called version history. And so here I could see as I've been working on this document, I can now go back to different versions of that document. So like I said before, if I made a bunch of changes and I'm unhappy with them, I could simply jump back to a previous version. Well, that's all the core functionality of Word that I want to.
Well, basically, definitely from the video just now, we can tell that there are a lot of functionality that we can play around with when we work with Microsoft Word, alright? And now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you your first individual assignment. So basically, this is your first individual assignment, word processing with Microsoft Word, okay? So for this assignment, so you can get this from Urox, and definitely I will publish it accordingly on weekly basis. So you need to copy and paste this text, why you need to understand the importance of social media until blah 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 here, right? So you have to copy all these text, and what you have to do is basically to format the text to make it more better looking, alright? To make it better looking, more appealing, easier to read, okay? More professional to read, for instance, okay? So what you can do, you can use appropriate font, use bold, italic, underline, whatnot, bullet or numberings, insert page number, and then you can insert more pictures whenever you find it suitable. And then to use headers that function as title and make use of colors, yes. And then tables if you think that you need to incorporate tables into your assignments. And then few spelling mistakes, you need to correct them, and then to use a block quote to indicate sentences that are in a block quote. So this is something I'll show you guys. And finally, you have to submit your assignment in PDF format. So instead of submitting your assignment in Microsoft Word format, I want you to save it as a PDF format. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. Right? So what you can do, first thing first, you can highlight this text, okay? And basically at the bottom, you'll notice this is how you're going to be graded. So how are you going to get the marks? Based on the visual, mechanics, as well as creativity and uniqueness here. So the visual, definitely how interesting your Microsoft Word is. If you guys remember just now, I've been telling you guys to make it look more beautiful, okay, more professional, for instance. And then the mechanics, okay, the formatting. Do you really follow the formatting? Are there any spelling mistakes, right? And then creativity and uniqueness, how you incorporate pictures or tables into your assignment, okay, headers, whatnot. So that's what I'm going to show you, okay, today. So you can highlight, control copy, and then as usual, open your Microsoft Word, okay. Okay, you open your Microsoft Word. So this is the Microsoft Word, okay. So what you can do, you can create new, for instance, to get new documents, okay. Here are a few templates which you can choose from, all right. I believe you guys remember, you can have your journal, modern pager if you want to take notes during class. All right, for instance, you can use this function, and you can even create your own calendar actually using Microsoft Word. Okay, there are a lot of different templates provided here. So let us go for the blank document. Okay, the simple one, the blank one, and then definitely Control V. All right, to paste. Okay, this is when you paste the words whatnot which you copied from the Urox just now. Okay, so you have the pictures as well, and the pictures are very, very big. For instance, oops, and then some of the pictures not showing, so you have to copy and paste one more time. For instance, okay, for instance here, what you can do, you can copy. All right, you can copy the image, and then you can paste it. You can put right. So what you can do, you can save the image. Okay, save image as. All right, so when you click save image as, you can save it. Okay, you can save it in your download, for instance, and you can click save, for instance, and then here you can go to insert as usual. If you want to insert a picture, you click on insert, and then you can click on pictures, and you can get it from your file because you already saved it in your download folder just now. Here you click on download, for instance. This is the picture. You can click insert. All right, so this is the picture. So for instance, the other picture just now, this one, social media, you can do it the same. All right, you can save the image. First thing first, save the image in your download folder, for instance, and then click save. And then because sometimes when you copy from the website, the picture is missing. So what you can do, you can copy the picture. You can save the pictures individually, and then later save it and paste it in your Microsoft Word. One more time, insert, pictures. Don't forget that this is from your files, okay, from your file, and then download. Here, this is the picture, and then you click insert. So this is when you copied from the internet just now, from Urox here, from your assignment. And if you guys remember from a video just now, whenever you click the picture, for instance, you have the picture format button, okay? You can click, you can format the button, whatnot. So first thing first class, I'm going to show you guys that whenever you have an assignment, it is actually very, very important to make it look professional so that it's going to be easier for us, the reader, to read your assignment. So for instance here, when you read, this is your Microsoft Word. When you go through them, all right, first thing first, it looks normal without no colors, all right, the formatting, it looks boring. And then here, if you guys remember, whenever you operate Microsoft Word, if you have a uh, red line underneath certain words, it simply means that that word is having a grammatical error. In Malay, kesalahan grammar, alright, kesalahan tata bahasa. So what you can do, you can click on that word, okay, right click, and then here, these are the options that you can choose from, the correct one. So for instance, just choose start up, for instance, okay, this is the correct one, okay. So and then when you go through, you have another spelling error, for instance, YouTube here, it should be capital T, yes, YouTube, and then Pinterest also, Pinterest, alright, so, and then when you go through the documents, here, spelling error as well, measurement, you can click on the correct one, right click, okay, so that's what you can do with your assignment, and you can also format your assignment if you guys remember. So this is the header, right? This is the title, so what you can do, you can click them. So this is the formatting, all right, the styles which you can choose from. So let's say this is the title, why you need to understand the importance of social media. So you can click on title, and there you go. All right, so you have it in the title format. You can put it in the middle here, for instance, center text. You can put it in the middle, all right, and then you can choose different colors to highlight the text, all right, to highlight the title text, for instance, and then you can click on Control B, bold, to make it bigger, all right, Control B to make it bigger, okay. So this is importance of social media, for instance. So let's say this is the title, And then the picture, if you can still remember here, you can move you can move around the picture because the picture is actually in line with the text. So if you guys remember, what you can do, you can right click and then you can send it back, okay, backwards, behind text, whatnot, okay, send it back, backwards, front, okay, wrap text, okay, wrap text here, for instance, you can put it behind text because when you put behind text, there you go, okay, the picture, you can move it anywhere you want, okay, you can put it in on the top if you want to, but let's say you want it still to be here. So let's say this is the picture, okay, right, so wrap text in front of tag, okay, in front of tag, okay, so you can move it around if you want to. So let's see, we just bring the words down, okay, so this is the picture, okay, and then when you click the picture here, if you guys remember picture format, you can correct it, okay, you can use from different soften brightness, you can make it brighter, okay, you can click, you can adjust the color or artistic effect, for instance, you can make it in black and white, you can make it looks like a drawing, for instance, and glow edge, whatnot. There are a lot of picture effects which you can choose from, all right, definitely. And then the words, okay, one thing about assignment, I always inform the student that whenever you submit your assignment, make sure that the Word document is being justified. Justified is when here you control all, you select all the words, for instance, and here this is what we call justify text. So you click the button, there you go. You'll notice that the words will meet the edge. In Malay, bucu ke bucu, alright? So instead of this, alright, a little bit uglier, I would say, compared to the justified one. So you can have justified text so that it looks better. It meets the edges, so it looks more professional. And one more thing, if you guys remember, I did mention to you even last week, you can play around with the spacing. So you can highlight everything, control all one more time. And with the spacing here, you can go for 1, 1.5, 1.15, or 2. Normally, you can go for 1.5, for instance, here, right? Then the spacing will be a little bit bigger. Then it will be easier for you to read. For instance, let's face it, it's 2019 and we all have a pretty good understanding, blah, blah, blah. It's better to read, right? Instead of this one, all right? Okay, because the space is actually tighter, so it's quite difficult for you to read. But if you need it to be bigger, you can always go for 1.5, for instance. Here, for instance, yes, normally for assignments, 1.5 I would say is the best one. Okay, and then you can always play around. For instance, let's say the text, the title, you don't want it to be big, so you can go back to 1, for instance. Okay, because you believe that the title should be close. Sorry, the words need to be close, all right, to each other, so you don't want it to be too separated, so you can go for 1, for instance, for the title, all right. So when you read the text, for instance, let's just face it, okay, whatnot, and you'll notice that social media and social network sites here, this is actually the header, all right, the header. So what you can do, you can click on heading 1, for instance, all right, for the title, sorry, for the formatting. So you click heading 1, so it becomes a new header, right, new subtopic, I would say. So you can make it lower so that you know that, okay, this is a new paragraph highlighting social media and social network sites. From the video, if you guys remember, you can right click, let's say you can modify here. If let's say you want it to be in different color, you can go for orange, for instance. And if you want it to be bold, lagi besar, alright, you want it to be looks bigger, alright, the what we call this, the text, alright. So normally for assignments, these are the two most famous one required by your lecturer, normally Arial or Times New Roman. So let's say we go for Arial, for instance, okay. So you can click OK, and every time you go for the heading, it will be auto-corrected to Arial, all right? And then font size 16, for instance, and with color orange, okay, for instance. So let's say this is the header, and then when you go through the documents, okay, and then you'll notice that social media. Okay, here, all right, you'll notice that social media marketing strategy, this is actually a new header as well. So for new header, you can always go for heading one more time. Okay, so this is a new header, for instance. You can go down, okay, and you'll notice that sometimes, so you copy it from the internet, this is how it's going to look like, because this is the outcome of copying from the internet. So what you can do actually, measurement and testing, what does not you need to constantly, this is actually a new paragraph, so just click enter, right? So this is a new paragraph. So benefit of social media marketing, this is actually a new header as well. So when you have to read the document, definitely when you read the document, then only you'll notice which is the header, for instance. Okay, then and then if you don't like this, okay, this is normally what I do lah, because definitely I don't like it as well, because I don't want it to have all these huge spaces kan, in between the words, because for me it looks quite hideous. So normally what I do is actually what you can do, you can retype them, okay, directly contribute, for instance, to your brand objective. So this is what you can do actually, because when you retype it, then it looks better lah, because you know that you don't want it to be too separated. And if you guys remember block quote just now here, block quote. What is a block quote? Block quote is actually when you highlight a certain paragraph from the text. Okay, here. Block quote is when you highlight certain paragraph from the text. For instance, this is how a normal block quote looks like, where the position you make it in the center of the text because you want to highlight that text. So for instance, just now, this is in, sorry, this is in open and close, what we call them, I forgot the terms in Malay or in English. Right, when you use this symbol quote, all right, to quote words, for instance, a strategic marketing here until audience. So let's say you want to highlight this quote. So you want it to be a block quote. You want it to be the center of attraction. What you can do, you can use this ruler function, for instance. You can bring it in, all right. So definitely, first thing first, it has to be separated from the others. Okay, you want it to be the center. So you can highlight, and then you can use this button to make it into the center. Yes, this is how you create a block quote. And then you can highlight it. You can control, you can use italic, okay, you can use bold if you want to. So this is a block quote. So when you read this article, for instance, you'll notice, oh, this is the block quote. So this is the perhaps main items or main point needed to be highlighted by this Word document, for instance. So this is a block quote. So when you highlight it, oh, this is the block quote, all right, for instance. And let's say whenever you have all these, for instance here, positively, we don't want to replicate any banking company's mistake. Okay, what you can do, you can highlight. Okay, so since it has a small star here, you can put it italic. Okay, so it's up to you. When you read the article, okay, put yourself from reader's perspective. Okay, sebagai pembaca. So when you read the article, you should know what is the best way of reading it. Okay, how you want it to looks like. Okay, where to put the header. Okay, or for instance here, let's say you don't want Facebook is the biggest 500 company. You don't want it to be separated. You can always enter so that you put the next paragraph in a new page. All right, so that they are not separated. Okay, and for instance here, let's face it. So you can click tab. All right. So this is Indent. If you guys remember the one we highlighted last week, Indent. All right. Oh, sorry. All right. So you can use Indent. All right. So this is Indent. Tab by click the tab button so that you know that, okay, by clicking tab, okay, this is the start of the new paragraph. So this is the start of the new paragraph. So start of a new paragraph. start of a new paragraph, 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 for instance. Okay, so you can always use the indent button or the tab button here. You can click tab button on your keyboard here, the tab button. Okay, you can click tab so that you know that whenever you start a paragraph, you have the indent. Okay, and then the picture here, okay, this is just showing you guys, okay, if you guys remember from the video just now, you can input a picture here as a background. If let's say you want this picture to be the background, all right, so what you can do is actually you can go for design, yes, design the watermark here. So you can go to watermark. So what you can do is, wait for a while, loading. So watermark here, you can use picture as well. You can use picture, for instance, you click picture, and let's say you select picture, and go to the download button just now. So let's say this picture, you want it to be the background for all your, for all the pages, okay? Let's say make it a little bit bigger. So you click OK. There you go. Then you'll notice that every page you have background. There you go. On every page you have a picture as your background. So if you want to put a picture as your background, how to do it, class? One more time. You can go to design, you can go to watermark, click it, okay, and then you can go to picture here. You can select picture. Let's say you click the one from your downloaded file. Scale, you can make it bigger. For instance, you can even go for 200, right? Or the biggest one, 500. Okay, let's go for 200 for instance, and then click OK, and there you go. On every page, you'll have this picture as your background. Okay, all right, class. And then you can also insert borders if you want to. You can click on borders. You can go for box, for instance, or you can go for 3D, for instance. It's up to you. You can use color. You can use love icons if you want to. Okay, you can go for thunderbolts. You can go for any icons that you want to. Okay, color. Let's go for dark orange, for instance, and then make it a little bit bold, all right, a little bit thicker. And then you click enter, for instance. There you go. You have, this is what we call page border. You can use page border as well. And if you guys remember, you can also insert page number. So you can insert, and then you can use this page number. And then when you click the page number, you can choose bottom. Yes, you can make it at the bottom here, at the lower part of the page, or top at the upper part of the page. Let's say you choose bottom part, and then you can put it in the center, right, inside, outside. I like to put it in the center. All right, and then you click OK. There you go. Okay, in the center, page number 1, 2, 3, 4, for instance. Okay, and then you can also put in a header if you want to. So you can insert. All right, here, this is what we call a header. So let's say you click the button here, type. Let's say you want people to know that this is your assignment. So you can type your name, Muhammad Safwan bin Zulkifli, and then you can type in your metric number. So my staff ID, for instance, 01575. Okay, so this is my header, for instance. So on every page there's a header. Okay, so on every page, setiap muka surat ada header. Okay, your name and metric number, for instance. You can have it if you want to, so that people knows, oh, this is your assignment if you want to lah. All right, and then so for your assignment class, I also need you guys to somehow prepare me yeah, the one just now, if you guys remember, the table of contents. So in order for you to prepare the table of contents, if you guys remember just now, all the heading just now, you do it, you click heading 1, right? Heading 1, heading 1, heading 1. I hope you can still remember the heading just now. So what you can do is actually now, let's say you want to have a table of content here. Okay, so let's say you want a table of content here, all right? So what you can do is actually you can go to the design just now, okay, a review, sorry, you can go to the review. So review, view, review, reference, sorry, you can go to references, okay, you can go to references, and then you can click table of content here, and then you can choose any one from this format. Let's say we go for the common one, definitely the classic one, classic, or you can go for formal. Okay, let's click formal. So you click formal, there you go. The table of content will be automatically prepared for you. So after this, when you complete your assignments, in order for you to prepare the table of content, if you don't want to do it manually, you can always use this function. Alright class, one more time, the heading. Because whenever you click the heading, then the heading will be your table of content. Okay, your new table of content for page number 2, for instance. Page number 2 for social media and social networking sites. Here, social media and social networking sites, page number 2, for instance. So you can always create table of contents by using this heading function. Heading 1, heading 2. What is heading 2? For instance, social media and social network sites, right? So for instance, here you have Facebook, Twitter. So what you can do, okay, so here you type in Facebook. Okay, let's say you don't want it to be indent. Okay, and then this is header 2, alright? Okay, you can edit or modify. Let's say you want it to be in Arial, and then you want it to be bold, thicker, and then color. Let's say you go for lighter orange, okay, and you click OK. So you have Facebook, and then you have Twitter, okay, TWITTER, okay. This is just example. You can go for all lah. Okay, so let's say you have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatnot. So you make a header. So heading 2 is actually a smaller header, because heading 1 is the biggest header, the main topic. So under social media, you have Facebook, Twitter. So Facebook, Twitter here will be smaller header. So what you can do is actually table of content here, right click, okay, or here you can click this, you can click this small arrow, you can click update table. And when you click update table, 1, 2, 3, ta-dang, entire table, okay, everything will be updated. So you know, under social media and social network, you can click it, it brings you to the table, the content itself, and then you have Facebook. You click Facebook, okay, it brings you to Facebook. You click Twitter, it brings you to Twitter. So that's the beauty of having heading function. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. Heading 3 is even smaller. So let's say inside Facebook, you want a smaller topic. So you can have heading 3, alright, accordingly lah. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, you can have an up until heading 4, alright. Heading 1, 2, 3, okay, up until 3, okay. So you can have even smaller topics if you want to. And your table of contents will be automatically updated, okay. So this is how you can complete your assignment letter. Okay, this is your first individual assignment. Takes your time. It's up to you. Use your creativity. If you don't want this picture, you can use another picture, alright. So you can have a lot of other headings, Instagram here, LinkedIn, Google, alright, and then social media and marketing strategy, the black code. If you don't want it to be in black color, you want it to be highlighted, you can have highlighted, okay, green color, whatnot. It's up to you, but definitely one thing you have to bear in mind, sometimes less is more. Don't make it too colorful, because if it's too colorful, the downside would be it will look less professional. When it comes to your assignment, definitely you want it to look professional as well. So sometimes less is better. So if you stick to orange, so perhaps the others orange as well. If you stick to purple, then everything's in purple as well, to make it standardized lah. Not too many different colors. And then the background, if you want it to be pictures, that make sure that even with the pictures, when you read your text, okay, it's easy for you to read the text, okay. And then if let's say you don't want let's say after you complete your assignment, you think that you don't want it, okay, the picture at the back here, so you can always go to your design watermark, for instance, one more time, okay, and then you can declick, okay, no watermark, you click no watermark and then click OK. There you go. Your watermark will gone. Alright, there will be no watermark. Alright, but it's up to you lah. It's up to you, okay, on how you want to complete your assignments to make it more professional looking, beautiful looking, sophisticated looking. It's up to you. Alright, so this is how you can complete your assignments. And don't forget, lastly, class, here to submit your assignment in PDF format. So how can you complete your assignment in PDF format? So you can click Word here, save as, okay, file, save as. So when you go for save as here, when you save as, you can see file format. So when you click it, you can have it in PDF. So when you click PDF, for instance, you click PDF and then export. When you click export, yes, okay, whatnot, and it will be automatically saved in a PDF format. So that's how you can save your assignment in a PDF format. Okay, class? So class, basically that's some of the functions. And then now I would like to highlight, for instance, let's say when you complete your assignment, sometimes the lecturers will ask for references, right? So you can use references here. Let's say Facebook here. Okay, let's say you get this from Wikipedia. What you can do is actually click reference here, insert footnote. All right, so you can type Wikipedia, facebook.com, for instance. Let's say this is the website. So and then so that your lecturer know, oh, this is from this website, for instance. So that's how you can put in references when you complete your assignment by using insert footnote here. All right, and then yes, you can underline Control U if you want to. All right, it's up to you on the formatting. All right, so if you want to insert table, for instance, you can insert table as well in your assignment. Okay, you can insert table in Microsoft Word by using insert, and then there you go, table. All right, so you can insert table if you want to do perhaps what you want to do with your assignment, social media. Oops, media, and then you want to talk about the strengths and then weaknesses. All right, so let's say you want to talk about strength and weaknesses here. Let's say you want it to be in center, bold. All right, okay, see, you go strength, I spelled it wrongly, so you can always correct it accordingly. So let's say you have Facebook, and then you have the one at the bottom, Instagram. So you can type it in the strength, weaknesses, whatnot. Okay, you can always use the table function to insert table, or you can always insert smart art. Okay, you can insert smart art as well. So insert one more time, smart art here. All right, it can be a list, process, whatnot, relationship. Okay, it's up to you. Let's say you want to talk about Facebook here. Okay, so you choose. All right, and then change color. Let's say you want it to, the default usually will be blue, so you can change to different color. Okay, so you can put in any text lah. All right, so you can put any text if you want to by using the smart art just now. So one more time, insert, and then smart art. You can put in any pyramid, matrix, relationship, whatnot. Okay, it's up to you. It all depends on what type of assignments you need to complete later. So definitely when it comes to Microsoft Office Suite, one class, two classes are not enough for you to master everything. It takes a lot of practices in order for you to be better in producing better looking, better documents. So I would say that you need to practice and practice, and this one assignment is not enough. So that's why, if you guys remember, I asked you to complete the ungraded assignment to tell more about yourself. So you can use that as an assignment as well, assessment for you to practice your Microsoft Word as well. And yeah, I think that's all for this week's tutorial. And I hope that you learned a lot from this week's tutorial, especially on how to create a better looking Microsoft Word document. And if you have any questions, why not, as usual, you can always ask me. All right, you can PM me. And yeah, that's all for this week. Thank you so much, guys, and I wish you all the best. Don't forget to complete all the assessments for this week. Okay, go through UROCs and click on the assignments, whatnot, and complete them. And one more time, if you have any problems, just let me know. Thank you guys. That's all. Bye bye.